Hello viewers, welcome to Parrot Show. My name is Peter Ogenan. We are still in Nigeria, in Abuja to be precise. It's still all about politics. It's weeks away to the 2019 presidential election. So everything in Nigeria is about politics. What have we been doing? We have been meeting opinion leaders, political leaders, talking about politics, looking at their concerns, talking about what their manifestos are. And today, we are with Chief Femi Fani Kayode, former Minister of Culture, former Minister of Aviation, Director of Media and Publicity, President Jonathan's presidential campaign 2014 to 2015, the voice of the voiceless. Chief, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you very much.
I have always watched you from afar, myself and millions of Nigerians in diaspora. When we turn on the Nigerian television and see people like you who are not afraid of any kind of intimidation, who speak out their mind regardless of the consequences that will come to them, we say, yes, that is a man. And coming to your house today, sitting in front of you, I am pleased.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. It's even more amazing when you come to a place like this and realize that it's just a stone throw away from Asoro.
Yeah,
what a man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about, first and foremost, let's talk about the state of the nation. A very topical issue. The Chief Justice of the Federation, Chief Justice Onoren, has been suspended for an alleged act of corruption, but the talk around town is that due process was not followed. What is your take on this on Justice Onoren's saga?
Let me start by thanking you for your very kind words at the beginning, during the introduction. It's an honor and privilege to be here with you and to receive you into my home. On the issue of Justice Onoren, I wrote an opinion titled the Onoren Conundrum, or words to that effect, which enunciates my position and expresses my views about what has happened to Justice Onoren and what the government has done to him. But outside of that, let me say a few words here. I would urge anybody that can to Google that essay and read it. But I wouldn't want to go into too much detail here. It would take too much time. But basically, the most important thing is this. What you have is a situation whereby the executive has seen fit to interfere in the affairs of the judiciary. And that is a very dangerous precedent to set. If you want to charge somebody in the judiciary, or if you feel he's done something wrong, there are ways of doing it. There are avenues that you have to go down, and there's a way of proceeding to ensure that due process is followed, like you said. All this was ignored during the course of this process. And consequently, what it is a violation of the principle of separation of powers. It's a violation of the Constitution. It is unlawful, and it's unacceptable in any civilized society. And this is habitual in terms of the behavior of this particular government and this particular president. He has done the same thing to the National Assembly when the Senate, somebody went into the Senate and grabbed the mace and ran out of it. That's a pro-Buhari person. And then on another occasion, the Senate was attacked, sealed up. Senators were prevented from entering the place by operatives of the DSS and so on and so forth. That's another abuse of power by the executive, undermining the authority of another arm of a government, which is the National Assembly. The way a constitutional democracy like ours is structured, it's based on three pillars: executive, judiciary, and National Assembly. Each of them form the government. Each of them have their own spheres of influence, their own rules, their own regulations, and how they regulate themselves. The minute you have a situation whereby one wing, that is the executive, begins to encroach on the powers and responsibilities of others, then you know you have a breakdown of the democratic process, and you're now swimming in the waters of treason, abuse of power, and tyranny. And that's what we're facing in this country today. So it's not just about Onogen. It's about the violation of that principle of separation of powers. It's about the fact that we have a president and a government that consistently abuses power. And it's about a situation whereby a dictatorship is being set in place in order to ensure that the will of the executive, that is the president, is imposed on the judiciary, on the National Assembly, and by extension on the Nigerian people. And this is something that we cannot accept, and we will